boy Jep like the one and only here with another fantastic live stream. In this live stream, I'm going to tell you how you can jump into DC Comics this week. This Wednesday, March 21st, 2018, a bunch of new comics came out just like every Wednesday. I'm going to tell you which ones you can start reading today. Even if you haven't read any other DC Comics, that'll allow you to jump right into the current ongoing stories. Yo, Scavenger, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. Now let's go down the list, and don't worry, all the stuff I'm going to say in this video is going to end up in the description below. So if you miss anything or you want a link so that you can read it yourself online, that's all going to be in the description after this video uploads. Yo, so Aquaman number 34 came out this week. It's a secret origin story about King Rath. Because it's an origin story for a character that's important to the current Aquaman storyline, it sets up a lot of the stuff that's going on in Aquaman for you, so that you don't have to read previous issues, because it's kind of going to go over that as it covers his origin. I think it's a good jumping on point. I even read it myself to make sure that it would be a good jumping on point. And having not read any of the other Aquaman stuff going on recently, I have a good idea of what's currently happening in the story, and I feel like you will too, if you give it a try. And like I said, there will be a link in the description below to where you'll be able to click on that and start reading Aquaman at issue number 34, straight from there. Next one is Batman Sins of the Father, number 1 and number 2. Jump in on the first 2 issues of the series. You can do that at the link that will be in the description. Now, I went to the DC Comics website, and it said that issue 2 came out this week. But then on the website where you can read comics that I'll have in the description, I noticed they have 4 issues up of it, and I don't know how that works. Maybe they have like some extra supplementary issues or something? I don't know. But that seemed interesting. I didn't read that one this week. Only reason why I didn't read it is because it ties in to the Telltale Batman game, and I'm not a big fan of those kind of games. Now, if you're a fan of the Telltale Batman series and you want more of that story, you could definitely check out Batman Sins of the Father if you would like to expand upon that even further. Next up, Next up, Batwoman number 13. It's part 1 of a brand new story. Part 1s of new stories are always really good, so if you hit up Batwoman number 13, I feel like it will be a good jumping on point for you. I read it, and it has a weird horror feel to it. It was very creepy, but I dug it. So there will be a link to that in the description below as well. Next up, this is a long one. Carson has an Interstellar Eye, number 1. Number 1 issue for a new series, so you can definitely jump on, because you know that you don't need any other context, really, because it's the first issue. So it's made to be a jumping on point. I read this one, and it's very interesting. And it has some baggage, because even though it's part 1, like it's the first issue, it comes from a different series that was called Carson Has a Cybernetic Eye. It was like a whole series of comics, but after an event called Milk Wars, it now has relaunched as Carson Has an Interstellar Eye, number 1. So even though it's a first issue, it's a first issue of a new series that's like a spin-off of an old one. It still seems like a solid jumping on point, but you definitely feel that there was more story. It doesn't seem like you're jumping in at a point where the other stuff doesn't matter. So if you've been following Carson Has a Cybernetic Eye, don't worry, it seems like stuff will carry over into Interstellar Eye, but I read the editorial at the end of Carson Has an Interstellar Eye, and they say, yes, this new series is made for new readers to be able to jump in. So don't worry, it's like written for you to jump in even if you haven't read the other stuff. Let's see, next up is Damage, issues 1 through 3. So the 3rd issue of Damage came out this week, and the best thing I can say to describe Damage is it's like Red Hulk, which is like a Marvel character, but for DC. So imagine the Hulk, but he's like a soldier for the military, but he doesn't want to be a soldier anymore. And imagine that he can only be the Hulk for 1 hour. So now, superheroes, government agents, the Suicide Squad, anyone you can think of in the DC universe is now trying to hunt him down because he's a dangerous superweapon, and he can only really defend himself against them for 1 hour every day. And you kind of have a good idea of what Damage is about. because issue 3 came out this Wednesday, you can jump in on tongue-tied. You can jump in on issue 1 and read issue 1 to 3 and get caught up really quickly. I'll never try and have you read more than 3 issues for like a jump in, and I feel like with Damage, reading 3 issues should go rather quick. Damage is a very action heavy book, so if you want to see a lot of destruction, a lot of carnage, but also have some cool psychological stuff going on, you should definitely check it out. Scavenger says, oh, gotta go. Well, catch you later, Scavenger. Thank you for tuning in on the stream. Okay, next up we have Super Sons, issues 13 through 14. So this is the first and second part of an ongoing story. So if you want to check out Super Sons and you need a jumping on point, you should definitely jump in on issues 13 and 14. Super Sons, in case you don't know what it's about, is a duo story with Damian Wayne Robin teaming up with John, who is Superman and Lois Lane's son. So he's like a half Kryptonian. So John, Superboy, and Damian Wayne Robin team up and go on adventures together, and they have their own like Fortress of Solitude / Batcave kind of underwater base, and they go on adventures where they like fight off against villains together. So if you're into like younger superhero characters, especially like John or Damian, you're now getting them together in this like special package comic. So if that piques your interest, make sure to check out Super Sons 13 and 14. 14 came out this week, but don't worry, there'll be links in the description to where you're able to read them online. Next up, Superman number 42 and 43. This is the first and second part of an ongoing story in Superman. Again, there will be a link in the description below. After that, we have The Brave and the Bold Batman and Wonder Woman, issues number 1 and 2. So you can jump in on the first 2 issues now by going in the description below and reading those comics online. Don't know much about it. I actually haven't read those myself yet, but it is a good jumping on point, and I might have to hit that up after this video. And then, finally, last but not least, we have Batman issues number 41 through 43, the first, second, and third part of an ongoing story. So the current story involves Poison Ivy. So if that sounds interesting to you, definitely make sure to check that out. Thank you all for watching. If you like this video, make sure to like this video, favorite, comment, subscribe, and ding, ring that bell so we notify whenever we do these live streams. Don't worry, after this video has uploaded, because currently this is a live stream, after the video is uploaded, you'll be able to check the description box below, and you'll be able to read all the different comics that I talked about, because there will be links in the description, as well as like a little short write-out next to some of them describing a little bit about what they are. Whether or not it's like the beginning of like a brand new story, or if it's like a number 1 issue kind of thing. I wrote the most, I think, about the Aquaman one, because I thought it was an interesting, like, it's a very unique jumping on point. It's not that it's like a issue 1, or it's like part 1 of a story, but it's just a really good issue in the middle of a story to get you caught up, because it's like an origin story. So it was like a nice way of them doing it. But yeah, thank you all once again for watching. Don't forget to smash that like button and share this video with your friends, and have a wonderful day. This is your host, your friend, your boy, Jet Life One Only, logging out. Peace.